and we're just coming up to Stondon now. So a couple more minutes and we'll be there. There we go. As I say, unless you knew this was here, how on earth would you come across this? It's a beautiful drive. Mind you, when you're loaded up with bonsai stock in the back, these bends could be a bit of a hazard. You've really got to take them slowly. I remember on the first journey I took, I think I broke 3 pots because I was so tightly packed because I hadn't expected to get so many. Since then, I mean, I've done about 8, maybe 7 visits, and I've certainly learned to protect the stuff I get. But it's hard not to buy so much when you see what's there. And it is a case of knowing that everything I buy I'll always hold on to for at least a year, because I'll do repots on them all, and you'll see why at some point if I buy anything today. So we're just approaching it now. You'd think we're in anyone's standard high street. Well, it's not even a high street, it's a back street. Here it is on the right hand side. Savin Nurseries. You would never ever guess it was here. It's literally built into the back of a residential street. Loads and loads of stuff. And they've got all these beautiful olives. Not sure what it is you'll be able to see, but these are just some of the olives. And I've just been inside just to have a look and see what there is to film. And it's a tragedy. I was speaking to the boss, and he hasn't been able to get into Asia for a while, since 2018. I think the last time he said he managed to go. And he said you just can't get the likes of Chinese elms, trident maples or anything like that. The area that we're just walking to now, 2-3 years ago, all of this area was bonsai. And now they're just down to that one row there. And there's still some good old trees there, but it's nothing like it used to be. Nothing. Olives now, certainly getting those in from Europe. And I've got 3 or so there that I'm going to bring back with me. But the range of stuff, I mean, they've still got some big sort of 4-foot Zelkova, or what we got there. This is Inium. I think the problem they've got is getting them repotted in time. Just some maple stuff there. They're all very, very reasonable though. As I say, this is literally the only row they've got now. A lot of little ginkgos there. But some of the bigger stuff he was saying to me, you just can't get it. They're not able to ship it up in crates anymore. The Asian authorities are just not willing to do it anymore. Some lovely Zelkova, Buddha's pine. I think that's more Zelkova. I think I got 2 of my Zelkovas came. They were just like that. I think I got each of them for £60. The range is just, it's not there, they can't get it. A few remaining pots there. Another beautiful one there. But this is the result of a combination of new regulations for import of trees and plants, the effect of the increase in trade transport costs. As I say, it's a 4-fold increase for importers, which suddenly makes the likes of bonsai just well beyond the cost of your normal shoppers. I mean, this great big monster there is going to be £1,500–1,600, whole load of them. But you just can't get them anymore. They're just not bringing them into the country. I'll certainly bring a few things back. They've still got some ginkgo they've still got, and old Metasoya, Dawn Redwoods. But this is an example of what I talk about with the soil. These are just so root bound. And I'm going to take some of these back, but you look here, this is the sort of thing you've got to look out for. There we go. I'm going to go around to the main nursery section, which is all down there, and see what I can find just in the nursery plants as well. So, it's that absolute range of hanging basket stuff and all this sort of stuff. They've got absolutely everything. If you're interested in anything to do with plants, anything like that, this is definitely the place to come. And so they've got about 8 or 9 polytunnels, and they're just absolutely inundated, packed with every conceivable plant. Taller pyracantha. Again, they're quite narrow bases, so they're not anything that I could bonsai. Lonica. What's he got? And this is where I spend a bit of time looking to see if we've got anything in the trunks that may be worth working on. They're only £4.50, so you certainly take a chance. And this is always the interesting section. It's all the different acers. You can get some really good potensai material here. There's some that got good grafts, some that haven't, but the prices are reasonable. It's 16 quid. And you try and do that at some of your local nurseries, and you can't get them for less than 30. So there's a whole pile here, and they're all sort of between a pencil and a half thickness. I'm going to spend some time looking, see if I can get some potential stock for 3 years' time, which is probably about the amount of time it'll take me to work through. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. There's some big examples back there. Definitely sorted these out a little bit more. They're at £200. But you look at there, if you're just looking on, I don't know if I can zoom in on that one. Alright, you might pay £200 for that, and you're going to probably air layer the top 2. But I can't get close to it, but that is a very interesting trunk you've got there. If you're really interested in learning, get to your nurseries and have a look. And just the main rule is look at the trunk, look at the base. Try to avoid anything that's got, oh, that's beautiful over there. Some more there. Just not willing to pay £200. You look around just around the inside, just pull the soil around from the base a bit, just have a look, see if there's any swelling, see what sort of roots there are there. Pull the pot out. I mean, these I know they care for them really well, so I'd have no doubts about the quality of roots and everything. Forsythia, yards of them, and again, you have a look for the one that's not so attractive to most people, and that's the one that's attractive for bonsais. Anyway, I'm going to have a look here and see if there's anything worth taking. There's some more specials you'll have at the other end with yew trees and stuff like that. Katsura. Goodness, that's a bit like the original Katsura I got from Plymouth ages and ages back for 40 quid. I think they're at 120 quid here now. That's the change that happens in 7 years. What's that, 300%? And when I was talking about watching out with maples, you need to watch is the graft, which is here, where it's been put onto whatever different variety that is. And no matter how much you like what's going on up above, you're never going to do anything with that as a bonsai, simply because you're not going to be able to hide that scion or whatever it's called. Whereas you look here, and mind you, this may not be grafted, so you've got to think, by the time you take a lot of the branches away, you've got to see the line you want. And all I'm doing when I'm walking around is, I'm not necessarily even looking at different plant types, I'm looking for that unusual trunk, something that's gonna, it's got Ligustrum here. It's amazing, there's always something somewhere, you've just got to spend the time looking at those looking at the roots, looking at the trunks, and just seeing if there's something that can capture your imagination, something that you can potentially work on. And then see what's at the bargain end. I will say though, there's definitely a lot less going on in here. I noticed that there's all the junipers and stuff that they used to have. Doesn't seem to be, certainly not here. No, it's definitely a lot less. Used to be loads of Chinese juniper, great big 4-foot masses of them. No. And as I said, there was literally one Fuji Cherry there. It's about 3 foot, but it's also the surprise amongst the things there. Because if you look at the price of it. Don't know if we can get in on that. £24. So I can't really see what it's like, but so I'm going to buy that. What is new here is it looks like they've got some European cloud larch. This is what I'm trying to develop. So when you see that spindly thing I've got, this is what I'm aiming for. Although a lot clearer. 50 years old. There's 3 of them here. But that's what you're aiming for with the cloud larch. And that's what I ended up with. So I've got 3 olives, which I've never worked on really, I've got the 2 small ones, and I've got 5 ginkgo, which I don't normally buy, but they're pretty scar free. And then I've just got that big koji. So I've got a few extra deep pots for the oaks I've got to pot up. So it's still something. Well, just leaving now, and yeah, as I said to him, Daryl wasn't there, unfortunately. It's the last 2 times Daryl hasn't been there. But I mean, of course, there wasn't the selection there. And as I say, I bought some ginkgo, which look fairly wire-free. All the scars have healed up, and they've got some interesting shapes, so I'll be able to do something with them. The olives I'm looking like having fun with. But again, I was careful to pick ones that haven't actually got inverse swelling or taper or bulges, which, to be fair, olive can tend to have quite a bit of. But I picked 3 of what I think are probably the best examples, and I'm just going to check and see how they work with cuttings and stuff like that, because there's some big branches I want to take off. But I've heard rumour that olives root pretty easily. It's just getting the time of the year right, and I think it might be midsummer. But I'll have a look into that. But no, now I've got 80-mile drive back. He's promised me that if he gets anything coming in from Holland, which there's still a route there for Chinese elm and some occasionally trident maples, he'll let me know. So that's something. Apart from that, he confirmed their shipping costs, where they used to pay, $2.5 grand for a container from the States or from wherever. They're now having to pay 10, 11, 12. He even he got a quote of 20 grand at one place, and that's explaining why the junipers and Chinese juniper and that are so difficult to get in. It's not because the price has gone up; it's the shipping costs. It's just made it beyond all reason. Then no hope of getting pines in or anything like that. It's just the rules in terms of how long they've got to spend in quarantine. I think it's like 10 years, he was saying. So yeah, So it looks like the only things you're going to be getting bonsai wise these days are European olives and a few stragglers of bits and pieces. He hasn't got a clue when there's next going to be any shipments in. And I know there's some dealers up north who deal with Holland, and I think they get stuff in, but again, prices are the same. So those ginkgos, I'll show you some repotting. I mean, there's certainly one ginkgo there which is literally just roots, there's nothing in it. So I'll use that as an example of what I was talking about that you need to be doing. But now I need to concentrate on the road. Yeah. Next visit to see what they've got available to them. And here's my favourite, golden grit, 2 for £10. Well, they haven't got much in their selection of the peats and the organic material I like to mix with it. And so we've got something new here, New Horizon all vegetable compost. It's triple the goodness, maybe the big 3. Boost, thrive, sustain. Goodness knows. Well, we'll see. It's at $6.99. I need a bag or 2 of that. I've already got a couple of bags at home, so we'll see. That'll do. And that's the soils. And now I'll just have a wander around. I normally go and see what's in the bargain dead tree section, dead shrubs. The azaleas, they're all quite expensive, and there's nothing much in the bases there. But well, there's a lot to look at. I'll let you know if I find anything. Always a favourite, the prunus. Get the lovely, lovely blossoms, and you know, a lot could be done with in terms of trees. These are a bit expensive though. I remember when I used to buy these for £10 down at Savin Nurseries, but I mean, if you look at something like that, there's shape, there's definitely potential for that, but at 18 quid, I'm certainly not willing to take a chance on that. And we've got our quinces here. They're all around about 6 quid, but again with these, I mean, the flowers are coming out and there's some lovely little shapes amongst them, and I suppose if you're doing a starter tree you can play with it and see what you can get with it, but for me I'd have to wait 2 or 3 years before I could return that or do anything meaningful with it. But it's always something to consider. 6 quid, you can have a practice and play with a quince. Then you've got golden privet, ligustrum. Got a couple of those. If you're looking close to some of these, they're only small plants, but you could do something with those trunks. Again, £14. It's not. I'd only pick those up if they were in the bargain. I'm dying basement, because by the time I finish them, they probably will be dying. Oh, I've got a section here. They don't normally have these. It looks like we've got a. Is that like yew? Yeah. See, well, they're £40. It's hard to tell. I mean, you can. It's expensive, £40. You have a look around and see what you've got in the trunks on these. And they've got their section of acers. Again, it's hard to tell. There's a few here that I'd play with, but again, at the price for a starter tree, £50. Gone are the days when you could find something and just bonsai. I mean, I used to get stuff like that. I mean, what is it there? 2.5 foot. Some interesting structure in there. Same with this one, actually. You could perhaps, I don't know, the graft is pretty ugly, but £60, it's a lot, especially when you know in the development stage you're going to spend, again, 2-3 years to get it anywhere near bonsai. Yeah, finally, the I'm dying section, and every year I come here there's less and less to look at. I don't know what the reason is for that. I come here enough that I can normally pick up bargains if they're there, but there just seems to be less and less available. Absolutely nothing here. Berberis, £3. It's just too small, that's the only thing. I've got a Berberis that I've got planted, nice big one, I take cuttings from anyway. Well, no plants, but at least I've got my potting compost and soil. That's all from downtown. There's just a little extra add on there. These are olives, and you saw those 3 olives I got from Saving for £30, and that's just trade price, no discount. These are also at what are they, £28? Gosh, at least half the size, if not a third of the size. So yeah, you've got to do your shopping and be aware of the value of stuff. Just saw this, they've obviously got their specials going on. They've got this little Ligustrum here, 50% off, so that puts that at £6, but this is what I'm talking about, you need to look at. Although there's clearly no leaves, I'm not going to try and break the branches, but they're brittle. What you do is if you just scratch here, and you'll see there's a little bit of green in there, so there's certainly some fluid in there, but if you look at the roots, matted, they're damp, they're waterlogged, so you know, for £5, if I was going to take a chance, if that was a Chinese elm, I'd definitely buy it. But for a little Ligustrum like that, probably not. But that's the things you've got to do. Don't be embarrassed about pulling it out of the pot. You're the one buying it.